no drums Griselda type beats, right? They real easy. All you gotta do is just find your samples on the MPC-1, copy it to a pad, and then boom, play it live to the SP-404. Easy peasy. What's going on, guys? It's your brother O.T.G, Charles Paris. The O.T.G's for overtime grind. Hardly seen, but I'm always around. Today I got my MPC-1 and my SP-404, the dynamic duo. And what I'm doing now is I already have some samples. I'm copying those samples by holding copy, pressing the pad, and I'm moving them to another bank. And so, hold copy, boom, press the pad, go to the bank, press the empty pad, samples there. So this is how you copy and paste samples. And what I want to do is I want to make like the Griselda no drums type beat. And the way you do that without being trapped in the MPC, you could either resample it and do it live, or if you have a trusty SP-404MKII, what you could do is record it live to a pad. So you would just press record, arm the pad, make sure your SP is in count and wait mode, and you get busy. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Make sure you check out all the master classes. I have the Dynamic Duo master class where you get both of the MPC and the SP-404 master classes together with all the extras all in one place. So make sure you check that out. Bunch of free resources, free screensavers for your SP-404, free drum kits, free drum programs, free web apps, free everything. We just free everything. Well, not everything. All right. Now, it's a lot to talk about making these Griselda no drums type, and it's real a part of, for me and my mind, in the O.T.G Charles Paris way. There's a certain way you gotta go about it to make it have a good sound. I've been making these types of beats since I've been making beats way back in the 2000s, 2001 and 2. Reason why is because I like Ghostface, and Ghostface is known for just going crazy over a loop of a sample, and just the bass and parts of that sample sounding amazing, repeated over and over and over. And so I see a new phenomenon coming back. Shout out to Conductor and Griselda for bringing those types of beats back. And I wanted to somehow be able to show how I make those beats, because on my beat tapes, I always have 4 or 5 of these no drum samples. And people wonder, how do I get them? It's my dynamic duo, bro. My MPC and my SP-404. Sometimes I will resample myself playing it live in my MPC, but most of the time I do it straight to my SP, just like that. And if you can see up there in the corner, the filter drive is going off, it's blinking. That's because I have my MPC, you can see it, I put my bright red plugs in the back of my MPC today. So my MPC is going into my SP. What I have is the EQ on the SP playing the sound that you're hearing right now. So that's not the original sound that you would hear out of the MPC. That is the SP affecting the sound, and essentially I'm recording the sample through the affected sound. Get what I mean? And what I had is I had 2 sets of 4 samples on 2 different banks from a song that I had chopped up. I have 2 different beats, so the 4 chops on the top pads and the 4 chops on the bottom pads I've already made into 2 separate no drum sample beats. But I thought that it would be great to show you guys how to copy everything over like I did in the beginning. Hold copy, press the pad, find the empty pad, press that pad, boom. And to show you how to just line up 4 or 5 samples all on the same sample program. So then that way things could be more accessible. And now we just get in the vibe. And we just play and record the whole beat. The thing with doing this is you have to remember your count. You know, remember your count. Remember what you're trying to do. Remember, it's very important. If you're half a second off, sometimes you might have to do this 10 times. 10 times. You know, this is something that I show my little ones, my little daughters, 9 and 4. I'll chop the samples up for them, let them find it, and we practice with them just playing it in and finding perfect loops and being able to match pieces together and make it roll, you know what I mean? Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment. Make sure you check out all of the different stuff that I have as I do a lot of these videos, slowly integrating and showing you different workflows with the MPC and the SP. You see I have the OP1 down there because that's my trifecta. These 3 things, I always use one of these 3 things in my production. Off the screen, I have the Roland MV1. I have the Roland MV1. You know, that's what I have plugged in via USB to my MPC1. So I have access to all 3,000 Roland sounds. And I have my OP1 field plugged into my Roland MV1. But this is where I get the audio from the computer. So I took these samples, you could see on the OP1, I processed the sample when I recorded it in through a reverb. And that's part of that sound that gives it that extra oomph. So, you know, the thing with the MPC is there is no input. You have to play something through, you have to play the music through something to get it into MPC, or you're going to have to download and transfer. I like to wake up the inputs on the MPC and record as much as I can all the time. So here we go. We got our sample. We got our no drums beat. Now we're inside of the SP. We re-put our EQ on there. So we added the EQ on top of the EQ to further enhance it, add some distortion where we want some distortion, you know, give it that feel. You know, when I'm in my SP, I always use my speed knob. I, Charles Paris, big O.T.G, I prefer to use the speed knob because once I hit shift, it gives me a much tighter and unique pitch than utilizing just the pitch knob, which does bigger increments, right? And you can see that quick without ever having to find a BPM, without ever having to set up my bars, without having to do any of that stuff. I got a whole no drums, fire sample. You know, we have flipped it and turned it into our own thing. You know, we pitching it up, add some EQ. I believe I have some 404 vinyl sound on the other bus effect. And we're good money right now, you know what I mean? Let's see. I didn't have it on, so let's go turn it on. Mess around with our frequency, take some of that noise out, mess around with the flutter. But again, this is how you get that, you can achieve that pretty quickly, and you don't have to have the constraints of matching BPMs and different things. And for those who could think outside of the box, yes, this does mean you could take two different samples at two different BPMs and put them together. Yes, this does mean that you can take different songs and chop them all up and have them pre-chopped on your MPC, and then open up your SP and record all kinds of parts to a song. Yes, you could have 4 different songs open with chops in it, copy and paste those pads into one program, and then go crazy that way. So there's so many different options and elevations to use a disc that this is just the base. I know that in this, there's probably somebody who might complain, somebody who doesn't like it, but guess what? They probably don't like those no drums songs anyway. They're probably not understanding why, when, what, when, where, why anyway, and that's okay, because we get it, right? So now, go turn on your MPC, chop you up some samples, and get your Griselda, no drums, beat making whole experience, take it to a whole nother level. Make sure you check out everything I have in the description. Make sure you check out everything that I have available for MPC, SP, and all the beat programs. Follow me on social media. It's your brother O.T.G.